thoughts on everything going on with Britney, your old friend?
AJ.
I could tell you right now that uh, my thoughts and my prayers are with her. I am 100% Team Britney. I've said this to a few friends recently that back in the beginning of this whole conservatorship, when everything happened about 13 years ago, um, you know, I could kind of empathize in that moment, maybe with her family, with how things transpired, but uh, for it to go on this long, I think is absolutely asinine. I think it's insane. I think it is completely brutal. Um, the one thing that she shared that really, really irks me is the whole IUD situation. I mean,
Yeah.
that to me is physical abuse. Um, just the whole thing to me is just it's grotesque. And I pray for her. I really feel in my heart that she's going to break free of all of this, and I really hope that she does. She's a sweetheart. She's pretty much my neighbor. I mean, she doesn't live very far from me. I see her often, but you know,
You.
it's yeah. Well, I mean, because she goes to the same shopping center that I do. There's this amazing cupcake shop that she goes to that I go to. That
What
I've
cupcake
seen
shop is
her.
that?
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
I can't. I think it's called
Is
like
it Susie Cakes? Because I don't want. No.
it might no. It's something like little Ann's or something. It's a little small cupcake shop over here in. Well, I don't want to say where I live, but over here in this area,
And where do you live?
and yeah, you know what? Stop it, Nick.
When you run into her, do you two chat or are you kept apart or what?
No, I mean, like the last time I saw her, it broke my heart. Last time I saw her, she was with a gentleman. I'm assuming it was security and or maybe a driver, because I know based on her words, which I do believe 100%, she's not allowed to drive herself. She's not allowed. She can't do anything. Like literally, she can't do anything. She can't even go see a doctor on her own. You know, One thing that really grinds my gears, because I am sober and because I am in a program, the fact that she cannot stay in contact with anyone from her fellowship from when she was going to AA meetings, that is BS to me, because that's the whole core of what we do in this program is fellowship. We lean on each other, we look up to each other for support. And if somebody were to take that from me, it would really be difficult for me to stay sober, honest to God.
Such a good
So,
point.
you know, yeah,
Wow.
I just
But
wish the
tell
best
me,
for her, honestly.
tell me again before I move on, what happened when you last saw her? Because you were just
When
about
I last saw her, I my wife asked me to go in to get some cupcakes for a birthday party that for one of my daughter's friends. I went in, she was there. She looked right at me, and I was like, "Hey, it's AJ." And she just kind of had this glass face, like
Mm.
she just didn't know who was there. It took her a minute, and then she realized it was me, and we hugged and we talked for a brief moment. But I could just see that this wasn't her. Like, I'm not looking at the person I knew from years and years ago. And I know a lot of that, in my opinion, could be whatever they're keeping her on or whatever they have her on, which is just insane. It's not fair, and I just don't think it's right. So again, uh free Britney. That's my whole thing, man. All for it.
wow.
100.
Thank you. Wow. Now, you mentioned your sobriety. I remember when you guys were at your peak, I believe, or one of your peaks, but in the TRL days, that was when you first announced that you were going to get sober. Like, I feel like I saw the announcement on TRL, Carson making that announcement. I have to think that that was a hugely emotional thing for you to have to do at the height of BSB.
I could say from my perspective, you know, because I remember, you know, when we were sitting down as a group during that TRL episode, the four of us had made the announcement that we had to push back the tour, it was really emotional for us, you know, as a group, because, you know, one of our members, AJ, you know, at the time needed time for himself. And, you know, when you're on a grind and when you're constantly going and you're constantly working, sometimes the business can get in the way, you know, of a person's personal needs. And so it was a internal debate. It was something that we didn't know, we had not gone through before, and we were learning, and, you know, firsthand. And I remember it being really emotional for us because, you know, you have labels and you have, you know, I think that kind of can also tie back into the Britney situation. You know, you have labels and you have managers and you have people who are tugging at you because there's like this one moment that, you know, you got to squeeze everything you can out of the artist,
Right.
at the expense of the artist's health and wellness. And I think that at that point, you know, the entire group, the four of us, we got together and we said, you know what, even though this is a multi-million-dollar tour, the biggest stadiums and arenas that we had ever been in at the time, it was like, stop. Everything had to stop at that point. And I think that's the one thing about our group, is that, you know, we know each other, we see each other, and there's a time when, look, all of this can go away in a second for us, and but we're still going to have to be, you know, family and brothers to one another, and that's more important than business. And I think that's at that time when you had seen that episode on TRL, that's what it really was all about. It was us. It was real. It was something that we had been going through, but we had to take the control. We had to take the opportunity to say, you know what, screw the managers, screw the label, you know, this is about real life.